Recording stopped. Yes, I
Wouldn't
know.
it be cool to have a podcast though?
Okay, we're starting.
Pleading stares of those reporting. Command calmed them with explanations of battle fatigue and strange gas weapon tests, and shared silent focused stares as the coward men were ushered out. Corporal Lawrence had little to report of his time in the hole. He could or would say little. He stated that he had slipped and fallen into what would have been some long blocked underground pool, or perhaps a buried latrine. Of the sounds and smells reported by Private, he had nothing to say, only that he struggled a short time and then managed to get back out as the men arrived. Surely he seemed none the worse for wear. In fact, he seemed better in spirits than many had remembered ever seeing him, favoring the commander with a wide, giddly smile as he dismissed with a warning not to discuss the events. Damn. Hardcore if you can rub that off your shoulder. The corporal proved a changed man over the next few days. He was more talkative, but quickly had men fishing for his old unsettling silence. He rambled about the joys of closed spaces and of creation and destruction that seemed to spring up all around them. About human pleasures missed, the dimension and ages of which some men threatened Corporal Lawrence with a quiet and negotiable death, which only seemed to stretch the near constant smile of his face even wider. Private Dixon, one of the corporal's bunkmates, whispered to a friend that he had woken to find the corporal standing over him in the night, his eyes as bright and flat as silver dollars. He found the private the next day snarled in the barbed wire, his intestines spread nearly 10 feet around him in every direction. God damn. Not one man from that trench survived the Great War. Although few died in battle, a wave of sickness took the trench a few days after Private Dixon's death. A strange wasting sickness. It seemed to eat the flesh like acid. Men waking to find previously healthy flesh eaten down to bone, oozing and blackened. A sergeant was found in a latrine, beset by a living carpet of rats. They refused to quit the body even when shot, and attacked several men before the body was recovered. Relief finally came, the bulk of the men being sent to various hospitals, many wasting away before they ever reached a bed. Corporal Lawrence was remanded to the French mental ward, transferred after several complaints after the hospital proper where he was first sent. It seemed his behavior hinted at a growing mental imbalance, culminating with an attempt of sexual assault of a nurse, which ended in the loss of 3 fingers from her right hand and the vision in her right eye. The corporal would rant quietly to the dark other patients. Yep, that's how I say that. The corporal would rant quietly to the other patients, whispering about the endless halls, pursuits in the dark, flesh laid out like pages of a book. It was dismissed so much war fatigue, even as his behavior grew less violent and more unsettling. He vanished several times from the ward, only to appear several hours later as if nothing had happened. When he pressed, he would begin to sing, My Bonnie lies over the sea," in an endless monotone until the doctors left, exasperated. Others on the ward clamored to be transferred from the whispering madman. A stale, musty foulness seemed to sit in the air whenever they stayed. An incidence of the infection and strange consuming sickness that had beset his home trench seemed to follow him like a cloud. Numerous attempts were made to transfer the man, only to be met with bureaucratic confusion. No records were found on the man, no entry, no papers, no commendations or incidents, not even birth certificate. Though through it all he had sat for hours on end, cross-legged in his bed, occasionally humming tunelessly and rambling off the names of his ward mates between short, bubbling giggles. Why does it always gotta be bubbly? Corporal Lawrence and 18 men vanished one November night between a 5-minute nurse rotation at 3 in the morning. The room reeked of rust and oil mold and sweet rot. Thick black swaths of crumbling ooze coated the bed and several of the walls, wide patches of it smearing and eating onto the floor of the men. There were no signs at first. As they searched, one nurse shifted a bed aside only to shriek and nearly trip across one of the sunken, reeking depressions on the floor. In a tight, perfect spiral, there were apparently to be hundreds of teeth resting neatly on the floor. After counting, they accounted the total of teeth for every living soul in the ward, but one. The cripple was never found, nor were the men. The incident was swallowed by the constant barrage of horrors from the front, and forgotten with ease. Stories of a cursed trench wandered around the front lines, often squealed for being bad luck. Still, there came stories of strange deaths, of disappearing men found days later alive, but broken and twisted beyond comprehension. Stories of a strange, dark fatigue stalking the bomb-ridden towns of Europe. This may be the only known image of Corporal Lawrence ever recorded, taken several days after his return from the hole in the German trench. There we go.
That was awesome.
That was long.
But awesome.
Now, hold on, I'm gonna shift you guys to the next window. It's a bigger image of what you're seeing right now.
Nice.
Anyway, what do you want to do now?
Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Alright, well, my phone's about to die, so I'm gonna let it charge for a while.
Okay. So that's it, guys. We'll see you later.
What?
We'll see you later, everybody.
Oh, see ya.